So now that we have a delay set up for our firing, so we can no longer fire faster than, full auto, we can also now set up the kind of same sort of deal for our reloading. So we come down here to our reload. We don't want to be able to do this. So I reload. I'm able to kind of cancel the reload anywhere I want, and the reload has succeeded. So I kind of want to change this up. So once we start the reload, I don't really like necessarily Call of Duty's way too much. I kind of want to continue the reload until it's finished before I can do anything else. So what we're going to do here in our reload function, here we have our animation kind of dealio. What I'm going to do is I'm going to make a float. So float, let's call it animation length and set it to 0. What we're going to do here is once it starts, we're going to set b can fire equals false. Then we're going to start the get the length. So this returns void. So we're going to have to actually get the length ourselves, fortunately. I wish it returned the length of the section. But what we're going to do is anim instance, search for length, and we'll have get relevant animation length. It's relevant. Let's see. It's just going to be get relevant animation length. Not exactly sure what the state index is though. But that's not what we're going to end up actually going after. So instead, let's do FPS arms, montage, search for length. Okay, so that's what I was looking for. Let's play length. So that's the entire montage. And here's where we want the section length. So get section length, then the index. So we're going to have to figure out what index it is. But first, I'm going to go ahead and do animation length equals that. And I'm just going to set this by default actually to 1 instead. Now let's look at our animation. So character, FPS. Let's just look at the sections. So we have 1, 2, or 0, 1, 2. Here's number 3. Let's see, does it actually tell us which index? Because I want to make sure I'm not grabbing the wrong one. Okay, so 0, 1, 2, 3 for this, for the reload empty, and it would be 2 for the normal reload. So we're going to take that, we're going to do the same thing with the timer and the timer handle, like here. So the delay between shots. Oh, stop lagging. There we go. So we're simply going to start the timer for when the animation is going to be done and set it to animation length instead of delay between shots. And this should hopefully allow us to have a delay that is the length of the corresponding section. I'm going to go ahead and restart the editor. And I almost want to cut it just a little bit short, because I noticed like in Call of Duty, and well, at least the newer one and stuff, once the actual firearm is loaded back up, you can kind of continue firing, if that makes sense. So like once the magazine's inserted, assuming there's a round in the chamber, you can kind of immediately jump back to continuing to fire. Let's say, and and that kind of thing. So let's go ahead and give it a try. I want to press R and spam shoot. I'm spamming, left click, nothing's happening until I'm back to being finished. Alright, magazine's empty, I press R. Spamming left click, nothing's happening. And there we go. So we now have a delay that goes based off the length of the animation. So what I want to do is I almost want to cut it down just a little bit. So we can also print out the length if we wanted to, but I want to take the length itself, just shorten it a smidge. So animation length minus equals, let's do about a second. I want to print out the length just so we can also see. So there's the animation length. Alrighty. Wait for the good old 10-second hang time. Okay. So reload, 3.13. All right, so that's yeah. So we're gonna cut it not nearly as much. So the length of those were. We search for length. So they were between 3 and 4 seconds, and I cut off an entire second. So I'm gonna just cut off 0.15, and I'm just gonna call it there. So now we have a delay for reloading. So we can no longer shoot and spam. Well, we can still spam, but it's not going to shoot while we're mid-reload. So now that that's out of the way, we can continue with more stuff. So find what I'm doing is useful, then please consider donating my Patreon to support me. And if you have any questions, the link to my Discord is in the description alongside the Patreon. So I will see you in the next one.